If I gave you these two things, a very sharp knife and a wooden spatula, which one would you prefer to flip? If I told you that you had to flip one of these, which one would you prefer to flip? But then, if I told you to flip this knife that's sharp, that is dangerous, you have to really focus in order to actually do it properly. Live trading versus demo trading. Why is it so difficult sometimes for traders, very good traders, who have been profitable on a demo account to make the transition over to a live account? Why is it difficult when on paper, if that trader is treating their demo account exactly like they would treat their live account? I'm not talking about the ones who are just swinging for the fences. I'm talking about the traders who have treated their demo account exactly like they would treat their live account, with the exact same position sizes, even with a demo account that takes into account commissions and all those variables. On paper, if you are profitable on a demo account like that, there's a very high chance that you should be profitable on a live account. So then why is it so difficult for traders? Like we said, good traders, traders who have had the ability to make consistent profits on demo. Why is it difficult for them to switch over to a live account? Well, I want to ask you a question. If I gave you these two things, a very sharp knife and a wooden spatula, which one would you prefer to flip? If I told you that you had to flip one of these, which one would you prefer to flip? Most people would say the spatula, right? Because we can do this all day long. And for some reason, our psychology, we just know where the spatula, I mean, you can almost do this blindfolded. But then, if I told you to flip this knife that's sharp, that is dangerous, you have to really focus in order to actually do it properly. So what I'm trying to demonstrate here is that when you are trading on demo, there is nothing that you have to worry about. There is nothing that you have to lose. Just like if you were flipping this wooden spoon, if you flip it and you mess up, nothing happens. But if you did the same thing with this knife and you caught it on the wrong end, you might be in trouble. So when it comes down to it, even though the motion is exactly the same, whether you're flipping a spatula or you're flipping a sharp knife, the motion of flipping these things are exactly the same. Why is it so much easier to flip the spatula? Once again, it is because of our psychology. It is because of our mindset. It is because of our emotions and our brain, which is telling us that this is much more dangerous than this. So because of that, precisely because of that, it is much, much more difficult to flip a live, sharp knife. Just like it is much, much more difficult to trade a live trading account, even though on paper it is exactly the same. So when you start to struggle on a live account, when you start to have setbacks on a live account, you need to ask yourself a question. Is it truly your strategy? Because that's usually what ends up happening. People start thinking, oh, it's my strategy. Oh, I got to fix my strategy. When in reality, what they should be thinking is, the strategy is the same. What is different in both scenarios is your mind. What is different in both of these scenarios is the way that you think. It is the way that you perceive danger, and that is what you have to correct. If you can manage to teach yourself that flipping a knife is the same thing as flipping a spatula, there is many more chances of you being able to flip both of these identically. When it comes to a trading account, it is the same way. You must train your brain to get rid of the fear, because your brain knows that when you trade live money, you have something to lose. And your brain, because of biology, remember, back in the day, we didn't have food and farms and all these things to provide us with things. It was fight, flight, it was live, die, it was hunt or be killed. And back then, our mind wants us to preserve as much as we possibly can. Our mind wants us to get away from danger as quickly as we can. So when we trade live, our brain thinks that it is more dangerous because we have something to lose. And back in the day, when you had something to lose, you fought for it. And what does that make us do? That makes us rely on instinct, which creates overtrading, which creates revenge trading. When we rely on instinct and emotion, we start making mistakes. That is why it is so much easier to flip this wooden spoon. That is why it's so much easier to trade on a demo account. If you want to succeed at trading on a live account, you have to train your brain to treat it identically. There are many different ways, and I have other videos on psychology on here. There are many different ways on how to train your brain. That is not what this video is about. What this video is about is to show you the differences between live trading and demo trading. It is the same concept, and your brain doesn't like it, identically to the way that my brain does not like flipping the real knife, because my brain knows that there is danger. And when there is danger, our brains tend to make us mess up. It is why commitment is such an important thing in anything we do, whether it's trading or business, right? One of the biggest detractors, one of the biggest reasons people fail is because they lack commitment, because they stumble, or because they hesitate. And when you do that, you make mistakes, just like you will in your live trading. So if you are a good trader, if you are somebody who has traded on demo consistently and been able to create profits consistently, you need to truly ask yourself a very important question. When you go onto a live account, if you struggle, you start to lose money, you need to ask yourself, is it really your strategy? Do you really have to rework your strategy? Or is it you? Is it me? Is it our mentality? Is it our brains telling us that there is danger and then creating us to cause mistakes? Because usually, in most instances, if you can trade a demo account well, you should be able to trade a live account well. You just have to overcome the psychological aspects. Now, before we conclude this video, I am not telling anyone to go flip a knife. In fact, I am telling you not to go flip a knife. Because if you mess up here, you might get hurt. What I am telling you is to think about your live trading the same. When you move on to a live trading account from a demo account, you have to realize that psychology is going to be your greatest enemy. That yourself, you are going to be your greatest enemy. And if you can conquer your mind, you can trade your live account just as well as you trade your demo account. This is Derek. This is Finance and Chocolate. Hopefully this was helpful.